And then we've got, oh, see now look here, this is what the drive shaft looks like, but it doesn't matter that that's all chewed up there in the end. But this right here, you see that? That makes this drive shaft unusable. What's up guys, my name is Andy. I want to replace the steel drive shaft that's on my 66 Mustang with an aluminum drive shaft. I had a coupe Mustang before this that I had swapped out that steel drive shaft for aluminum unit, and I want to do the same thing. And what I did last time is I went to the local junkyard and got a drive shaft out of a Crown Vic. You know, the P71 Police Interceptor Crown Vic is aluminum drive shaft. It's longer than it needs to be, but I can take it to a shop here in town and have them shorten it to the right length. So I'm going to do that. But let's head over to the junkyard and see if we can find us one of those drive shafts. Okay. I have no idea if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I've really got this thing hanging off the end of my hat. It's kind of in my way, but let's take a look and see what we can find. This is not what we're here for. But this is kind of cool though to see this old stuff sitting here. You guys probably, is that what they call a fridge Ford or refrigerator or whatever? I don't know the, let's see. Man, you guys probably know exactly what you're looking at. I don't know anything about that stuff, but it's kind of neat to see that old stuff in here. There's not much of that left in these kinds of lots. It tends to be all newer cars. And where we're going is the newer cars, but I wanted to walk through here real quick and see if we can find anything. Looks like there's lots of Chevys. Ooh, what do you got here? Ooh. That looks good. Oh, man. Gosh, there's probably some stuff in here that we want. I don't even know where to start. I'm not even here for this stuff. And oh man. I don't know how good that, the grill's all pushed in. Blah, blah. Ooh, that's cool. Oh man, what do we got here? International. Something on the door. That step side it's kind of cool. Man, that would be a cool truck to have just for something to tinker with and have fun with. Oh, we got the front end. There's some old bugs. That's cool. What else we got? A Toyota pickup. Whatever that is. Oh, look, there's the old manuals in there. Cool. You know, we're not going to find anything good, probably. So a lot of these cars, yeah, this is not stuff that I can do anything with. It's this last guy down here on the end. Old dent side. Oh, somebody picked that pretty clean. Huh. Oh yeah. Nothing in there. Long bed. Yeah. Okay, let's head over to the cars that we want to look at. What we're looking for, I believe it's the 92 to 2011 Crown Vic, the Police Interceptor one specifically. The other models have a different drive shaft. It's steel, different lengths, that kind of stuff. We want the aluminum one, and I think it's 92 to 2011. There's something in like that, close to that. And then there's also, I believe there was Explorers from the late 80s had aluminum drive shafts too. And if we've come across one of those, we'll take a look at that and see if there's anything that we need. I don't know, I should have looked at the list if they even had any Explorers from that time frame. And they don't have these cars organized in a way that makes it easier to find what you're looking for. But so we'll just have to run down the aisles here and see if we can come across the car or not. And see, now something like this, this is aluminum, and it doesn't matter that these ends on here are not, that this is not the end, we don't use those ends, right? But those are, I believe those are 1330, you know, end caps here, so you could just get a U-joint that mates up to the one, you know, the 1310, which is what the Mustang uses, which is what I'm buying this for. But this part right here, I don't think I want this I mean, this would work, but I want the solid drive shaft, so I'm gonna keep looking. Oh, I see something down here on the end. Now that's a Crown Vic, but I don't think it's a police interceptor. I think part of it is, well, not only can you tell by the VIN, it says P74, so that's obviously not it. There's also usually a button in the middle of the dash between the radio and the HVAC controls, so we already know that this is not the Crown Vic I'm looking for that they said that they had. This Mercury caught my eye, but this isn't what we're looking for. This is not it, but I thought it was for a minute. And then we've got, oh, see, now look here, this is what the drive shaft looks like, but it doesn't matter that that's all chewed up there in the end. But this right here, you see that? That makes this drive shaft unusable, except for, gosh, the end caps can be taken off. We can cut that off and buy a new tube, because that's what I had to do last time. So last time I was out here for my coupe, I got drive shaft and it was bent, not this bad, but I was able to take it to a shop and they bought me a new piece of tube. We salvaged the end caps, and that's how I made that aluminum drive shaft for my other car. But I don't know, I don't know if this is worth salvaging, but this is what it would look like, although there's supposed to be a police stamping on here and I'm not seeing that, so this just might be out of a Explorer, which happens to be what this is right here, is an Explorer, but I don't think this is the right year. Might be, I don't know. So that's more or less what we're looking for, but I don't think I want that guy. Let's see, here's another Crown Vic. But I suspect, nope. Yeah, see, it says P74 on here, and that's not what we're looking for. Fiddle. Okay, striking out, guys. Guys, I think we're going to strike out here. I cannot find, on their list, they only had one P71, and I am not finding it. But I'm going to go up in front and check with them to make sure I didn't miss something, see if they know where it would be, but I did find this one. So this says P7B on here, and I think so. This has an aluminum drive shaft, you can see it there, but I thought I read, well, maybe you can use this. I don't know if, I think it's a smaller diameter than the P71, and so I'm going to stick to my original plan and get the P71 drive shaft and pass on this guy, because I don't think this is what we're looking for. Hold up, what do we got here? 99, yes, P71, that is what we are looking for. Let's see here, there it is, boys. That is the drive shaft that we're looking for, and it doesn't look
bent, but it probably is because that's just my luck. But let's see if I brought the right tools to get that out of here. Okay. All right, let's see, what is this? 12. And of course it's a 12 point, and I didn't bring the sockets for that, so I get to do this the old-fashioned way. Uh-oh. We might be coming back, because I don't think I have the sockets for this. Yep. So, don't bring 6-point sockets when you need 12-point. Well, oh, now you know what? Shoot. I'm looking at this, and this is the right drive shaft, but oh, look at this. If we just move right up here, and look at that spot right there, that's dented in, and that is not what we want. Crap. Man, why do they have to pick up these cars by the forklift and dent that? I mean, this is essentially no good now, right? I mean, you're gonna have to just cut the ends off and buy a new tube and build one that way. All right, so, well, it's a good thing I have a backup plan.
So it doesn't always work out at the junkyard. With the way they pick up those cars from underneath, they use those big forks, those drive shafts hang low, a lot of times they get bent, and that's just how it is. So my backup plan is to use a drive shaft that I already got from the junkyard. So I got this one. This is what we're looking for. I got this when I was building on my coupe. I got one of these aluminum drive shafts, and there was 2 police interceptors there at that time, and so I just grabbed both of them. They were 24 bucks. You know, for back then, that was a couple years ago. Shoot, for 50 bucks, I got 2 drive shafts in case, you know, maybe this end is no good or something like that. I could fall back on it. One of the 2 ended up being fine. I used it, and that tube ended up being damaged on that other drive shaft, so I had to replace the tube, but I was able to use these end caps, which is really kind of the expensive part, because this part's the cheap part. So I got that one made, and I put that in my car, and everything was fine. Well, fast forward now to this car, I wanted to do the same thing, and I had this as a backup plan in case they didn't have something for me at the junkyard, and I was afraid that they were going to have some damaged tubes there, and I'd have to fall back on this one. However, this one, where it is damaged is, where did that go? It's here in the middle, and I don't know if this one is salvageable, this tube itself. Now, I have to get this cut to length anyways. What I want it to be is 50 inches from the center of the U-joint to the center of the Z-joint. It's what I'm looking for, is 50 inches. Now, these are longer than that, but that's okay. We got to cut them down and then re-weld them and then rebalance them. This one might be fine. I mean, there's a damage down here and here. It may not work, but before I started filming this, I figured, well, I'm just gonna run back to that junkyard and grab that other drive shaft. So I did. I went ahead and grabbed this one out of the car, and taking a look at it, where it's damaged is only on the one end. And because I have to cut this shaft short, I might be able to salvage this shaft. I might not have to buy a new tube. So that's, my fingers are crossed on that one. If I do have to buy a new tube, it does add to the cost, but I think I'm gonna take this one down to the drive shaft shop where I'm gonna have this fixed and see if we can salvage this guy. And I'm just gonna hold on to this one and as a backup plan, I guess. So that's the next step on this, is I gotta take this down and get it done. You know, as I'm looking at this, well, I've got the damage here that I was trying to show earlier. There is some damage here on the middle of this tube, and I don't know, I mean, this thing, looking down at it, looks straight, but when they put it on the lathe, they'll be able to tell me if this is gonna work or not. So now, what's the advantage of doing this? Now, this, worst case, if I have to buy a new tubing, it's going to be cheaper to buy a new tube, make it cut to the right length, weld these end caps on, than it is to buy an aluminum drive shaft. So that was the whole point of this, is to get one of these cheap drive shafts, make it work for my car, and save a bunch of money. You're going to be north of $500 to buy a aluminum drive shaft, you know, from any popular website that sells stuff for our cars. This right here was $28, $28.41 I think, or something like that after tax, right? So that's cheap, you know. And then if I have to buy new tubing and then get it cut and all that stuff, it's still going to be, we're going to be, you know, a couple $100. It'll still be way cheaper than buying an aluminum drive shaft. So that's the goal, right? Is to do this on the cheap, and that's why we're doing this. So cool. So now I need to get this thing taken down to the drive shaft shop, see if we can salvage it, and then go from there. So that'll be the next video, guys, is me getting this thing cut and ready to go so we can get it installed in the car and get that old steel drive shaft out of there. All right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out, and we'll see you in the next one.